Class is in session. The Brofessor is in. We have the Undying Spirit of Punk. Prizewall. So let's break it down, everyone. Let's bro like we do. Number one, as always, big shout out to the J Nasty Booty. Thanks as always. Number two is effin' wait. Wait to the end of the contest so that you can make sure you can get as many things as possible. There's no need to rush on this one unless you absolutely need it for CSS, but even then, I don't think I would do anything with it. And number three, as always, this depends on your rooster. So do what's best for your roster, okay? Make sure you feed your rooster. Things that are going to help you win now, things that you can use in feud or boss or showdown right away so that you can get higher up in the next contest. As always, let's get on to the show. So the first thing that I want to say about this prize wall is that this prize wall is, it's a repeat of basically almost everything we have seen this month already. So here is your chance to get things that you might have missed throughout the month. Also, it's going to really cover a lot of the things that I've already talked about of previous prize walls. So number one, as we always do, I don't care what you heard about me, but it's all about the PGMP, right? We're going to go for plates and then gears moments before we go for posters. That's usually how we rate our prize wall. So number one on this prize wall is going to be getting yourself another plate or two or three, depending on how much you're willing to spend or how far you can get with this. We have 4 new plates this month, and they are these plates right here. So this is your chance to get one of them if you miss them. If I had to rank these plates in terms of their most useful, this LA Bite would be number 1. Number 2 after that really depends on if you're going to be using Chelsea Green at all or not, but actually the Biteman's Battle Armor is probably going to be more useful if you're going to be using any of those sub people. So that's like a 2A. 2B is, well, we all have Chelsea, so here's your chance to actually get a plate that's going to make her better and more useful when you're using her. We have yet to see a plate where this works, so it gets number 4. We skip number 3 entirely. That's how much I don't care for the Control Freak plate itself. So maybe get yourself one of the newer plates this month if you haven't already gotten that. And then beyond that, it might be time to get yourself another plate from here from last year's zombies or other zombies. These are all zombie plates over here if you haven't noticed already. Sheriff's badges, always good to have. Heartstopper badges, always good to have. These ones are good in boss battle. These ones are anyone with reds and yellows. The last ride to hell has less of a useful only because it is traps in green, so there's fewer people that can use the last ride to hell. This one, of course, is a sub MP if you get the General's Hand, especially if you like using Gunther. Bianca's Braid, if you saw my video on the new CM Punk Zombie, this is one that you will need to have for him. And then the Opportuna Z plate is always good on anybody who's doing countdown gems. So those are all good plates to have more of. And then in terms of cheaper plates that you can get off of here are 3 cheaper plates that you can really never have enough of. They always seem to come in handy in some way, especially if you don't have the Real American. There's another plate that you might do well in terms of having another ultimate plate. In any event, all plates that we have sort of seen before, and this is just a question of what is it that you need when it comes to plates. So there is sort of a 1A, which is going to be getting one of the new plates here if you don't have any of them, and then the 1B is over here in getting some of these plates over here. This would be my number 1. This, considering how CM Punk is, would be my number 2. And then I would go 3, and this would be the 4th one. And then I would go 5. And then I would go 6, just in terms of usefulness. But again, this all depends on your rooster. And if you're coming back to these 3 at the bottom, again, it depends on who you have on your rooster. I actually use this one quite a bit, more than I do Eternal Vigilance. But again, that's based on my rooster and how I rank them. and maybe you don't rank them the exact same way. All right. So next on the list after this is basically going to come down to what you need after this, right? So the 2A of all of this is actually going to be the straps, right? So do you need a certain strap for your zombies? Do you need a CM Punk one, for example, and you're willing to roll the dice with getting any number of these, most likely one of those instead of all of these? But that's one option. The next option is getting yourself the damage or the move, whichever you prefer. I would prefer the damage myself, but that's just me. Do you need zombie straps in general? This is for zombies and it's random. So this is dependent on your rooster. On a zombie month where you've gotten a lot of zombies, maybe that might be the play for you. Finding a strap that could work for your rooster. But beyond that, then comes posters. And this might be your chance to pick up a poster for somebody that, you know, you've been either eyeing or needing. And I know this has been a white whale for a lot of people, this HBK. It's a lot of tokens to get him, as well as CM Punk. But this poster right here has been around for a while. Still a very good poster. But for the cost of it, you could actually get some other things down here as well too. Again, two very good posters up at the top that you could spend your money on. But this is also a place where you can pick up a lot of cheaper posters. If you were planning on using 3 of the month-long loot coins to get Rey Mysterio, well, you can get Rey Mysterio right there and put those loot coins to something else. These 3 are outdated. None of these 3 will be game-changing for most people's rosters, but if you don't have them, this might be the only time you'll get them until we have a spring outbreak. Liv Morgan's still a very good poster. Still a very good poster to spend your coin on. Or maybe it's time to get some shards. Maybe you are just 100 or 200 or 300 shards away from these big-name characters. And to be quite honest, this should be number 1. I would put him to A, and this would be 2B. And this would be number 4 if I had to choose between all of them there. And then Becky Two Bites, in terms of the females on this list, is number 1, and that's number 2. I wouldn't bother with really either of these. But again, for 1,500, you can get 300 of this one right here of The Undertaker. For 1,200, you can get 300 of Bobby Lashley. Again, neither one of them are game-changing, amazing in the meta for the long term, but they might be really good on your roster. So keep that kind of stuff in mind. That is the 2B. Last but not least is getting yourself what we like to call Econ, and shout out Goldie, and never mind my crazy E. That we have one more thing to do today, and that is to pick up what we are now going to call the J Nasty seal of approval, things that you should get and maybe it should be your priority. So J Nasty's priority of things to get on this prize wall are going to be the Sheriff's Badge is going to get his stamp of approval. These are always helpful. Having 1, 2, 3 of them on your roster is always a good idea, so you might want to get that one. Another one that might be very good, also gets his stamp of approval, is the Heartstopper. And while that's 50% every time you do a blue move, these types of plates are very good, as I've said, in boss battles. So you actually might want to get a couple of them, especially during boss events. So you'd want to get that one. And then the other one that you might want to get more of, this also gets J Nasty's stamp of approval, is the LA Bite plate. And then getting yourself the gem coaches, right? So for instance, people like Rey Mysterio, if you don't have him, he also creates more gems on the board when you're making yellow gems, for example. So that is a useful poster to have. Anybody that does obviously gem damage is always a useful poster in that case. But the same can be said. And the last but not least, his seal of approval also goes to, so we're going in the wrong direction, to something that I said before. Still a very good card in this meta. CM Punk, best in the world, gets J Nasty's final seal of approval because of still a great card for the meta. And if you don't have a lot of the recent modern techs, we've had a huge amount of them. And if you don't have them, this could be a chance for you to get at 6 bronze, no less, a very good tech poster. All right, we've added Jay Nasty's seal of approval on this, and the bro gives his seal of approval that this video is done. Let me know what you're getting in the comments. Thanks for coming to class. Brofessor out.